listening to DP Podcast. The DP Podcast is the Dark Podcast. When you gaze into the abyss gazes back into you. And when you gaze into the abyss and the abyss gazes back into you, the abyss gazes back into you and you gaze back into the abyss. That's not even whatever. Alright, so anything within the darkness may be shined on within the light within this podcast. Alright, so this is like what episode 5 or 6 of the bonus sequel for this series. Alright, so different seeing the vibration in an emotion is that an emotion is orchestrated by a fallen one, and it's not necessarily always a lower vibration frequency and a less deeper tone, okay, or a deeper tone or anything like that. Sometimes it's very high, okay, not necessarily compared to just based off of where you're at in your frequency and your vibration and your tone and how deep that is, okay, and how strong and your radiation is, or how deep your radiation is, or your radiance is. That's basically what determines where it's at. So like more, because there are different kinds of emotions. Yes, there are the positive, what you believe to be called the positive ones, but there are also the ones that you believe to be called the negative ones. The negative ones are the ones that are lower vibrations. The higher vibrational ones are the ones that are you believe to be called the positive emotions. Okay, so vibration, you already know what that is based off of the beginning of this series. Okay, up until now. But what makes it different from the emotion is that emotions are basically kind of how you would say they are corrupted vibrations and frequencies and tones. Okay, and the radiance of it is corrupted as well. So it doesn't even have a very quote unquote solid form. It does not have a strong form. It does not have a deep form. So it's not visible to you, not because they don't exist in lower dimensions, but because they are so what you believe to be called weak. They're not even able to form what you believe to be called a physical body, okay, within what you believe to be called the physical realm, which is just a vessel within the realm of light, okay, because they don't have a soul to kind of guide them into a vessel. They can only that's why they kind of look for your light within your vessel to kind of guide them to the source of energy that they don't have, because they relinquished it, which meaning they gave it up, they sacrificed it, and that's what they want you to do, so that way that they can have their own vessel. Because the moment that they can have access to a vessel, they gonna do whatever the fuck they want. They gonna go stupid. They gonna go crazy, as you might call it. Okay, they gonna do whatever they want to. They gonna be at the club. They gonna be outside. They gonna be in the underworld. They gonna be in them streets. Yes, they the ones doing them hits. They the ones who wanna slime niggas out and shit, slime bitches out, and they'll come for you too. If you at the spot, if you at the parties, if you in the streets, if you at the club, if you at the bar, yeah, they want that. So what they want you to do is they want you to give up your shit, so that way that they can continue doing what they already did. They already had a vessel. They already had an incarnation. They all did. They just gave it up. So once they gave up them souls, they gave up their souls. They done sold their shit. Their souls is stuck. Not stuck. They done allowed themselves to trap themselves within their own mind, aka what you believe to be called the matrix, which is basically trapping yourself within your own, believing that you're trapped within your own mind, actually, to be honest, and then by tricking yourself into believing that you're trapped within your own mind. So they did that when they had their minds and their souls. So that's how they know how to do you. So they start doing dark manipulation. quote unquote. It ain't really dark. They want you to believe it's dark, but it ain't. Dark manipulation, the reason why it's called dark manipulation is because they manipulate the light that comes from within the darkness to use that light, okay, to blind you, okay? So that if you ever become self-aware and tune in a little bit more, they now they're gonna start trying to kind of like mimic, monitor, be trying to trick you, trying to get you to trick you, actually, and trying to get you to monitor yourself, which is being self-conscious, insecure, and shit like that. So that way, you prevent yourself from ever being at such a high vibration and frequency and tuning in so deeply within yourself and having a solid, strong, as what you believe to be called strong aura, radiance, that they cannot access you anymore, which will destroy everything that they create. Well, not created. Well, technically, you will create within this realm that you believe to be called the physical realm, which will prevent them from destroying your creations, because your vibration and frequency is so strong, it will eradicate them. They will vanquish. They will cease to exist. Why? Because they don't have a soul to reincarnate. They're not able to regenerate, rejuvenate, stuff like that, which is what an immortal God and goddess can do, all on its own, because a god and a goddess is an immortal being, or not an immortal being, an immortal, okay? They can rejuvenate, regenerate, reincarnate, incarnate, okay? Revitalize, and as well as as well as kind of like what is it? I ain't gonna just leave the last part out. But they can do all that stuff, whereas someone who is not a god or a goddess is not able to do that. So, as well as, you create, which is a given, okay? And whatever can be created can be destroyed. So, because they're not able to create, and all they're able to do is, the only thing they recall how to do or willing to do actually is destroy. What happens is that because your vibration and frequency and all that stuff eradicates everything that they use you to create, or use your vessel or your mind and your spirits to create, if they corrupted your spirits, which is your ancestors too. What happens is that they become very afraid, scared. They begin to run, because they will cease to exist if they can, not only if they come in contact with you, but if they ever try to destroy anything you create. That automatically is automatic, not only karma, but it will cause them to cease to be able to continue existing, even though they have a very fleeting existence, even though their existence is based on your belief that they have any existence at all. So basically, you believing that they have any power is what allows them to exist. It's people's fear, people's animosity, hate, stuff like that. These are also emotions. Okay, that's what allows them to exist. Their ability to siphon, harness, charge, basically juice up off your juice, off your soul, off your mind, off your spirits, off your vessel. They attach to all that shit. And when you ain't attached to yourself and you attach to anything outside of you, you're attached to them, their energy. Well, not their energy, but basically their false light. Because they gonna fake it. They gonna act like they got souls. Because they remember what it was like to have. And they gonna act like they got a mind. They gonna act like they got spirits. But they spirits ain't the type of spirits you working with. Okay, cool. So that's how that works. So that's how this is manipulation. When you basically allow yourself to be corrupted